All right. Well, hello everybody. We are back with Chantal. We're here to talk about autoimmune diseases, how the juice helps autoimmune diseases. But first, before we get into all of that, let's talk about what an autoimmune disease actually is, because a lot of people get diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, but they don't really know what it is or how they got it, or, the ball of wax that it is in the first place. So, Chantal, would you please take it away and educate?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we first thing of all is we don't catch an autoimmune disease. You know, it's prepared most of the time. It's not something that, well, you can't qualify an autoimmune disease as something that is hereditary. You can have predispositions, but not necessarily hereditary. So what happens is at what moment in time you get at a certain region a lot of inflammation that's not dealt with. It could be medication induced, it can be stress induced, because you're always too much stress and your cortisol level is too high, and it's not dealt with. So I mean, what happens is when you have an inflammation, your body is going to secrete some white cells to counteract that. But if you're always in inflammation all the time, at a moment in time, your body is not going to be able to counteract that all the time, every day, on and on. So what it's doing, it says to your body, okay, I can't deal with that anymore. I won't take any more chances. I'm going to destroy everything. So that's what an autoimmune disease is. It's at first your immune system starts to, treat what's good and what's bad and what's good and what's bad. But doing that every day, long day, the body says, I'm too tired. I can't deal with that anymore because it's too much job. I won't take any more chances. I'm going to destroy everything.
Wow.
Then starts the autoimmune disease. Yeah.
Wow.
Because your body doesn't know anymore which cell is good and which cell is bad. So it doesn't take any chances because the body is always wants to protect us and have balance.
Right.
So that's its main function, is to protect us all the time.
Right. So would you say that there's been, I feel like I already know the answer to this, but would you say that there's been a massive increase in autoimmune diseases since our environment and our food has gotten more toxic then?
Yes. And also the stress levels that came up in the last maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
Because compared to a lot of illness issues, autoimmune disease is part stress, emotional stress, financial stress, stress that you have to deal with. But in the physical environment, when you have stress, you secrete a hormone supposed to be helping you deal with those issues. But when the cortisol is always level high and never comes down, and you're always on survival mode, you're always in inflammation. So that's one of the issue also. The main issue is inflammation, but it could be from different sources. Okay. So when you look at those, you have to look at the big picture, deal with the inflammation, whatever inflammation it is, but deal with the inflammation. So the first thing I'm going to tell everybody is self-care is not selfish.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's the first thing. Because, we get always in that state, when we're sick all the time and we're not feeling good, we get in that state that You know, I have to do my stuff anyways. But your body, you need to take care of yourself now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not good to anybody else if you don't feel good yourself first.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So if at the core of this, first of all, can autoimmune diseases, so if they are not hereditary and they are brought on by the environment, essentially, or external sources, right? External stimuli, whatever. If they're brought on that way, then one would reason that you could also get rid of them.
Yes. You can put what we call it, put it in remission.
Okay.
Because, so it's the beast goes to sleep and you don't wake it up anymore. You know? Yeah. But of course, it takes effort when you start, you start, rebuilding your health. It's continually for a while before the body says, okay, well, I can deal with this now. And, I know what needs to be done so I can, be in balance all the time. But you have to deprogram what was programmed in the first place.
Yeah.
So the first times,
go ahead.
So the first times, that you start something to re-educate your body, of course, it takes conscious effort, for sure.
Right.
But it's really doable. I mean, I've seen people in my practice that been in remission for years, and I mean, it's doable. But yes, it does take a little bit of effort.
All right. So if we're going to, because our entire goal is not to treat symptoms, right? Our entire goal is to go to the root of where the problem is and fix that,
exactly.
Right? Support that so that can get to a healthy place, and then everything else follows suit, right? So that being said, inflammation is what you said before, is our root cause, right? Or our thing that we need to support.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that being said, how does this juice help that?
Well, it's like we've talked about before. It's that what it does, and detox at the same time. So you your systems with the power to renew good cells and healthy cells. Automatically, the body is going to take the route of fixing itself,
Right.
because that's what our body does when power to time. It's going to do its job. Not that you're never going to be.
Oh man, we are cutting out.
That's it. You
were cutting out just a little bit there.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. Sorry.
Are you seeing that? No worries. But it's basically, it's the juice. What the juice does is it supports inflammation by bringing in so many antioxidants that then neutralizes the free radicals, right? And allows them to flush out the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it gives our body a chance to renew sane cells instead of, some cells that are not optimal. So when we renew, we have a brand new body every 7 to 10 years, but it's now that you have the chance to change what's going to be your future, in your health. And it's every day. It's something that needs to be done every day. Yeah.
I love that. And you know what? That just brought to mind that some people, like, they get into their 40s or their 50s and they think, well, my body is so much different now. And hormonally, there are some differences. Yeah. I'm not going to say they're not, but also what has changed in your life in the last 7 years also, right? Did you get more sedentary? Did you start taking on more toxic things in your life? And then your body just gets to that point where you're closer to a diseased state, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And depending on what you prepared the years before, you're gonna get, the results now. More menopausal symptoms, more inflammation, more injuries
Yeah.
also, because some people, are top shape at 50, and others, I mean, they get operated for a knee or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
everything that we do, in what we eat, how we balance ourselves, how we deal with stress, how we deal with our environment is going to have an impact in what we become in the future. Yeah.
I think it's important to address the fact that we can reverse, or like you said, the term is remission, put into remission. I think it's important to talk
Yes.
about the fact that we can put these autoimmune diseases into remission by attacking that inflammation. Attacking inflammation feels weird, but you know what I'm saying. um,
Dealing with inflammation. Yeah.
let's talk about something in specific. So uh, let's talk about, well, do you want to talk about MS or Hashimoto's? Let's talk
Yes.
about Hashimoto's, because there's a lot of people have
Okay.
asked me specifically about Hashimoto's.
Okay. So what happens is with the Hashimoto's is that the immune system starts attacking the cells of the thyroid. Okay. Because it starts, most of the time it starts with something that an inflammation. So something specific is going on with this or hypothyroidism, and then it's not dealt with or improperly dealt with. Well, to find balance here, but I mean, it's not really working. So destroy everything. So what happens is when it starts that, it's a cycle after that, So, I mean, when you deal with the inflammation per se, and you change the message in your body that you don't need to destroy everything because everything is sane, it doesn't have to pick what's good and what's bad anymore, So automatically you change the message in your body. We talk about that, but everything in the autoimmune ranked, it's the same thing. So automatically you deal with the inflammation and you change the message that your body doesn't need to attack because everything's okay. It's going to stop. When it stops, that's remission.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So after that, the only job that you have is not to wake up the beast again.
Yes. Leave it
You
asleep.
get exactly. But because you do have for a couple of years after that, a tendency to be more fragile in that area.
That makes sense.
So, you do need to continue what you started to start the healing process. So the body is going to be able to do that by itself.
Right. So be diligent about bringing in your antioxidants and all of the things, right? Which this juice makes it so
eating
easy.
clean food, antioxidants, making sure that you don't take a bunch of toxins into your environment, and you got a good stress management protocol that's good for you, yoga, meditation, or whatever, to help you deal with every issue around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, and I know that they're all autoimmune diseases, and I know it's all the same messaging and going to be the same thing, but I want for people to like hear something that may be working on them and sort of snap into like, oh, okay, so now this is something that's hitting home. Now this is something that would actually work for me. because autoimmune disease is an umbrella, right?
It's
So
large spectrum, of course.
yeah. So let's talk about MS then, because that's a big one.
Okay. Yes. It affects basically the nervous system and the messages in your body but it's, how can I explain that? It's like the rest. It starts with an inflammation, but more than that, it starts with a lot of stress.
Okay.
It's people that develop MS are people that have a lot of stress issues also.
Okay.
And, so the cortisol is sky high most of the time.
Okay.
So the level of stress needs to go down, and it needs to, because stress increases cortisol, that increases inflammation. If you do have inflammation, you're going to have a lot more inflammation,
Yeah.
So if you deal with that at the source, you can help support the nervous system, and everything that's going on, because you're dealing with this, and of course good clean food. I mean,
Right.
that's the base. But what's going to do is, it comes to that, is change. You change the message in your body that it doesn't need to attack anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to say it again, because I think we cut out a little bit before. So how does this juice that we talk about, how does that help with this?
The first thing is, when you get some free radicals from your environment, from your food or whatever, it's a molecule. It's a molecule that only has one electron in it, and it's going to stick to a cell to get the other one to be complete. But if you take the antioxidants and fill the void, it doesn't need to be attacking anything. So what it does is, your body's going to recognize it as a strange substance, and it's going to flush it. It's going to get rid of it, Yeah. So in that sense, you're protecting your cells, first of all, and the cells are the base of everything. We're cells,
Right. Yeah.
So if you do protect your cells, and then the cells, when they regenerate, they regenerate into healthy cells, you're helping your body heal itself. It's supporting everything that's not doing good right now,
Right.
So you're helping your body go back into balance, regenerate itself, looking for health. So, and that's what we want.
Right. Well, and when we're
Yeah.
trying to get rid of inflammation, whenever you do it with, obviously changing your diet is a huge piece of that. Food is medicine, right? So changing your diet is a huge piece of that. But I know that in reality, right, people's behaviors are not so easily changed into a 180 switch, right? So a baby step would be to just start drinking this juice, so you can flood your body with those antioxidants and start repairing and such. Even as you're switching up your lifestyle, you can still be helping yourself in a massive way just by drinking that juice. Am I right there, Chantal?
Yes, that, and when you start nourishing yourself, automatically you're going to start feeling better. You start feeling better, you start feeling better about yourself, and you start having the idea of taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's baby steps in the long run. You got to start with something, nutrition. Then after that, your mind, you feel better. So your mind feels better also. And the image of what you want in the future changes also.
It
But, you
becomes
know, it's one step
attainable,
at a
right?
time. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It becomes something that could actually happen for you. So there are people, there are lots and lots of people that are taking this stuff, but people are reporting things like, well, I mean, I've lost a bunch of weight on it already. There are people that are sleeping better. It's all sorts of stuff. People are getting pregnant. I don't know if you knew that or not, but there's somebody last month that got pregnant that's been trying for 15 months. There's all sorts of
you
things.
flush the toxins, so.
Right. That's what it's all about. So for those of you that are watching this right now and just want some more information, feel free to message Chantal. Feel free to message myself. If you're watching this video not live, but in the future, still go ahead and message us. Also, I want to let you guys know that we have a group as well. So we have a group where Chantal is in there. She answers questions every Tuesday. We have a personal trainer that's starting to add videos next week, actually. We have myself, where I talk about weight loss. I'm kind of like a weight loss coach, I guess, but more like nutrition and stuff. Like that's kind of my thing. And it's just a big supportive group. So as you're making these life changes, that group is completely free. All you have to do is when you order the juice, make sure that you order the juice from either myself or somebody that is on my team. So whenever you order it from somebody, say, are you on Martha Krejci's team? If they say yes, then you will be able to be added into that group. Okay. So that's what I want to make sure everybody that's watching, this is not anything that's being like charged for or anything. We want for you guys to be able to make a massive change in your life. And we've already determined that you can put into remission what you're dealing with right now. I mean, if it's possible, let's do it, right? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. But any final thoughts? I don't want to go too long because I don't want people watching the video later to be like, man, this video is long. But any final thoughts that you have, Chantal?
Not really, but the only thing I wanted to say is, you know, it's when you talk about an autoimmune disease, people think that it's a desperate cause. But it's not. I mean, yes, there's some changes that needs to be done because what you've been doing right now is not serving you. But it's doable. It's doable, and it's for the long term. You know, I mean, we don't have to suffer for nothing if we don't have to, and we don't want that. You know, it's not what we want.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Those are my final thoughts.
Well, and I'm going to add to those final thoughts because I can't ever stop talking.
Go ahead.
Whenever I agree with you on people thinking that it's sort of not a death sentence necessarily, but definitely
almost
feels like something that won't ever go away. That's what whenever I hear the words autoimmune disease, I'm like, oh, yikes, right? But what we've learned today is that it's not yikes at all. It's take control and just feed yourself antioxidants, right? Like on a grand level, take care of yourself, de-stress, all of these things. Like you can actually make yourself better.
You've got
it doesn't
control
have
over
to
your
be.
body.
Yeah.
You just need to take it back.
Yes. Oh, that's the last words. Let's drop the mic. All right. Everybody, that's I got nothing after that. Everybody have an awesome week, and we will see you again next Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.